What's the best phone call you've ever gotten? I was 19 years old, working the night shift at a gas station and living in my car. Not because I wanted to be edgy or prove some point. I literally had nowhere else to go. My mom kicked me out when I turned 18 because her boyfriend didn't like me, said I was too old to be living there rent-free. I'd been couch surfing for a few months until I ran out of friends willing to help. The gas station job paid minimum wage, barely enough for food and gas, definitely not enough for rent anywhere. So I slept in my 97 Honda Civic in the parking lot behind the store. My manager knew but didn't care as long as I showed up for my shifts. I kept all my stuff in garbage bags in the back seat, had one change of clothes, a toothbrush, and a phone charger I could use at work. Every morning I'd wake up with my neck killing me from sleeping in the driver's seat. I'd brush my teeth in the gas station bathroom, change my shirt, and pretend everything was fine. The worst part wasn't even being homeless, it was the loneliness. Nobody called me, nobody texted. I'd scroll through my phone during slow shifts and see everyone else living normal lives. Going to college, hanging out with friends, complaining about their parents. Meanwhile, I was eating expired hot dogs from the warmer for dinner and hoping my car wouldn't break down. One night in February, it was like 2 a.m. and dead quiet. I was restocking cigarettes behind the counter when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer because who calls at 2 in the morning except scammers, but I was so bored I picked up anyway. Hello? I said. A woman's voice answered. Is this Tyler Bennett? Yeah, who's this? This is Patricia Chen from the Community College Scholarship Office. I'm calling about your application. My heart started pounding. I'd applied for this full-ride scholarship back in November on a whim, filled out the entire application on my phone during breaks at work. They wanted an essay about overcoming obstacles, so I wrote about being homeless and still trying to get an education. I figured I had nothing to lose, but the deadline was months ago and I never heard anything back. I honestly forgot I'd even applied. Mrs. Chen continued talking. We received over 500 applications this year, but your essay really stood out to our committee. I'm calling to let you know you've been selected as one of our scholarship recipients. I almost dropped the phone. What? She laughed a little. You won the scholarship, Tyler. Full tuition, books, and a housing stipend for up to 4 years as long as you maintain a 2.5 GPA. We were particularly moved by your determination to keep working toward your goals despite your circumstances. I just stood there behind the counter shaking. The housing stipend, how much is that? She said it was $800 a month for rent and living expenses, enough to get a small apartment near campus. I could start in the fall semester if I wanted. I had to put her on hold because I started crying right there in the gas station. This lady I'd never met was telling me I could stop sleeping in my car, that I could actually go to college like a normal person. When I got back on the line, I asked if this was real or some kind of prank. Mrs. Chen's voice got really soft. It's real, Tyler. You earned this. We'll be sending you all the paperwork next week. Congratulations. I worked the rest of that shift in a daze. When my manager came in at 6 a.m. to replace me, I told him I was giving my 2 weeks notice. He asked where I was going and I said, I'm going to college. He looked at me like I was crazy, but I didn't care. That fall, I moved into a tiny studio apartment 3 blocks from campus. It had a bed, a real bed, not a car seat. I cried the first night I slept in it. Graduated 4 years later with a degree in computer science. Now I work as a software developer making more money than I ever thought possible. I've got my own place, a reliable car, and I actually have friends. Every year on February 10th, I call Mrs. Chen to thank her for that phone call. She always says I did it myself, but we both know that call changed everything.